Hey guys, so we're looking at the GCW Zero today. Just a little bit earlier on I did do the gamepad too, and I was using one of the cables that came with the GCW Zero. That's still in the gamepad too, as you can see right there. So yeah, but the cable it comes with is actually a mini HDMI to HDMI. And it also comes with a few other cables as well. The box is actually really nicely done for the GCW Zero. It is an ultimate open source handheld console, and it does feature some pretty decent specs. Surprisingly, it has an Ingenic 1 GHz MIPS processor, and it actually has 512 megabytes of DDR2 RAM. You know, that's not exactly fantastic in today's market, but it's actually really good for handheld. This thing has so many features as well, like the HDMI 1.3 out, the G sensor, the vibration, the Wi-Fi. It has 16 gigs of internal memory, and it's a really solid open source console. Now, I got this all the way from America. I had to pay some customs charges of £11. So if you are getting it from America, you will have to pay customs charges. Luckily, the actual guy who makes these sent me mine to review, which was really kind of him. And I do look forward to seeing what comes of the GCW Zero, and it's kind of a thing that I'm really excited about. So it has been out for a year, funded on Kickstarter, and to be honest, it's still in early stages as such, software-wise. Now, as you can see, it also comes with a pouch, and the console actually is here. It's relatively small, but it's not a bad-sized console by all means, and it has some awesome features. I mean, I'm really impressed with the fact that it has a TV out as well as a HDMI out. You know, it has the L and R buttons, it has the power button, which is very much like the PSP power button. It has a 320 by 240 screen, I believe, which isn't awesome, but it's built for kind of retro gaming and gaming in a handheld, so you know, that screen is fine really. As long as people develop for the screen of that size, you know, it should be fine. Just 1 second, guys, 1 second. Excuse the damn telephone, guys. Right, so yeah, basically, you know, it's got a ton of features, and HDMI out, TV out, L and R buttons. It's even got a built-in mic. It's even got an SD expansion slot. The two speakers on the bottom, they're actually quite loud and quite decent. They're not overly tinny. The DC, which is obviously charging, and you can even charge it via USB. There's even a hard reset button if it locks up. The back is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but you know, that's not a problem, and the screen is also a bit of a fingerprint magnet. But hey, you've got all these cool snazzy features, and it even has Wi-Fi and a built-in mic. So, you know, it's a really solid piece of kit. And in actual fact, as you see, the mic's on the side there. In actual fact, it's one of the sort of more inspirational things, as in, it's a really solid idea and it's got really good specs, but it's just going to take time to kind of get to its destination, or its final destination. Now, it is running Linux, OpenDingux, which is Linux, and it does play an array of games. Now, as you can see, I've got a media player on here, which plays this. I've got The Simpsons on here, and the media player doesn't work too badly. There was an instance when I first booted it up that it kind of lagged a little, but after that first instant, it seems to be fine. L&R buttons do switch the menus, because sadly there's no touchscreen, but everything else is just top notch. I mean, you've got emulator section, which you can add emulators to, obviously. I've got the Sega Genesis and the GBA, or the Sega Mega Drive as the UK users call it, and they work really well. I'll just show you the Sega Genesis right now, because this is one of my favourite consoles of all time, and it's what I started, you know, what I started gaming on when I was small. So, Sonic the Hedgehog. Right, as you can see now, the sound's a little bit quiet. I'll just boost the sound up a little bit. Just hold on with me. So basically, to boost the sound up, you have to hold the power button up and push up on a D-pad. So, you know, there's no dedicated button for that. But as you can see, these things run really smoothly, and there's not really a problem at all with any of the emulators. There you go. So with the emulators, you can use the D-pad, but they're also ready matched for the analog stick too, so you can use the analog stick as well, and they run really well. You do have to remember how to get out of them though. Some of them have different ways of getting out. I have noticed start and select seems to be most useful right now, but there are the odd couple of emulators that have different ways of getting out. The GBA emulator again works really well. So onto the actual dedicated game side of things, you've got you've got Doom, Astrolander. There's various little games. That's kind of like Flappy Bird that have been developed specifically for the GCW Zero. Now there's nothing outstanding there as such, but there is some really good ideas, like the monkey game, the unnamed monkey game. You know, it's a good idea. Overall, though, obviously, the software is a little bit disappointing because the hardware is actually great and the hardware is absolutely fantastic. But that's just due to the community having to take on the role of a developer, really, because there is no or there are no developers that are currently working on this other than the community itself. So it's all down to the community to piece these things together and make it better. It has certain potential, it really does, and it's more powerful than a PSP, so it definitely has potential to be better than the PSP, but it's just the community needs to spend its time developing and working on the software aspects. So some things aren't actually implemented as of yet. The HDMI isn't perfectly implemented yet, and the mic actually isn't implemented greatly either, and the Wi-Fi, again, there's only a couple of games that do multiplayer, so isn't overly integrated, but the options are there. You know, the capability is there to do great things, and that's what really excites me about the GCW Zero, because although it's a year old now and it still doesn't have a lot going for it as such, it still has so much potential and so much to be unlocked and sort of sorted out. So this thing can go anywhere. And as I say, you know, it's capable of 3D, it's more powerful than the PSP, so who knows what can come of it in the next few years. I'm definitely keeping hold of mine, and for now it plays an array of smaller titles that I do enjoy playing, as well as the emulators, which obviously bring back nostalgia and memories from childhood. So yeah, overall it is a fantastic piece of kit, and it's definitely worth picking up. It's £115, which may seem a little bit pricey when you look at the potential of the product and the actual idea that Justin Barwick has behind the product. You know, it's fantastic, and it's just a brilliant concept and a brilliant machine. It really is, and everything about it is fantastic. The battery life lasts for a really long time. It even has FM radio built in, so you can even tune into your favourite radio stations with a dedicated application. So overall, the GCW gets a 10 out of 10. It's a fantastic piece of kit, and it's definitely worth picking up for £115. It's roughly about $130 in the US, but again, just remember those import charges if you're importing it to the UK. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the review, and I definitely hope you enjoy the GCW Zero. If you happen to pick one up, there's so much more to come of this product yet, and I don't think we have seen its sort of inevitable outcome. I think there's so much more potential, and I will be following the GCW a hell of a lot, and if there's anything that you guys want to know about it, any games you want me to test out, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll put some videos up of me doing that, so you can actually see, you know, what the GCW is capable of as of yet. But there's always more on the way for this thing, so this thing always has room to improve. As always guys, like, comment and subscribe, check out my other videos, and I shall see you soon with the review guys. Cheers.